What is it about this stone that captivates you, Fulke?
The Saga stone comes from an ancient race of beings, a generation of lesser gods, as do all the artifacts I collect for my church.
You prayed to the Christ Jesus in your cell. Is your church not the Church of Rome, like these Saxons?
These Saxons believe in Christ the Redeemer, but I know his true purpose. Christ the Educator, the keeper of secret knowledge.
Is this why Edwin loathes you? For preaching such an idea?
Yes. Christians like her, like Alfred, they believe Christ's purpose on earth was to wash us free of sin. The Roman Church has been deluded by the lies of Sackless, or Yaldabaoth, the demiurge of many names, a lesser god. Sackless and his kind were wise in their time, but they lost sight of the true god, the self-begotten one, lord of the treasury of life. This is why Edwin had me punished and imprisoned. What she calls heresy is, in fact, the true nature of the universe.
Yours is a strange saga, Fulke.
And I have not yet reached its end.
Be on your guard. Someone is watching.
Take care, everyone.
The villagers aren't happy we're here.
Edwin's eyes and ears, no doubt.
This is the place up ahead.
What is this tower?
A ruin from England's Roman past. My acolyte found it abandoned and derelict. He took refuge here after his bishop expelled him for teaching the same truths that got me imprisoned.
He was a priest.
He was, and he is. The bishops of England are simply too craven and deluded to understand the secret wisdom we possess. Brother Paul! Are you here?
Ransacked from floor to roof. That's him. Stand guard outside.
This was Edwin's stone. I have no doubt.
The stone is within?
I asked Paul to hide it well, but I do not know where.
This is him, your acolyte, Paul.
My dearest friend. May you live as one with the true God, in the treasury of light.
Your friend paid the price for his loyalty. I imagine he was guarding the stone.
Edwin's men did this. They killed Brother Paul and took my stone.
You, always questioning, second-guessing my wishes. You slowed us down, and I missed my chance.
It's a stone, Sigurd. You're chasing shadows like a madman howling at the moon. What matters is victory against Edwin and her allies.
This was my victory. To know my true self. My destiny.
Hold, both of you. You hear that?
Soldiers, Edwin's here.
How dare you Danes befoul my lands?
Hold off, Ava. First we talk. Lady Edwin! The stone was taken from this tower, inscribed with runes, and the image of a tree. Do you know it?
Yes. One of this heretic's blasphemous baubles. Is that why you've come?
We are here to trade that stone for an assurance of peace.
What are you saying? We gave Giedrich our word.
For that stone, we will leave your lands and not return.
Oh, for this, you must bring me Giedrich's head.
The stone is within our grasp.
We made a promise, brother. Brother.
We have a deal, then?
We accept.
Done!
We do not!
Haven! No!
Cut them down! Leave none alive!
Haven, are you mad?
had our chance!
We will speak of this, Eivor. I will not forget. Eivor, you mock-minded fool!
That was our chance to recover the stone without letting of blood.
I will not betray Giedrich.
That is not for you to decide.
My promises are my own, and they are ironclad.
Your first oath is to your Jarl, Sigurd Jarl, your brother and master.
That's one view, Basim. I believe there will be other chances. We can keep our oaths and find this stone together. Edwin will flee to her castle. You want your stone? It will be there.
Giedrich's pathetic army will never breach the walls. We could have first taken the stone, then laid siege. That was always our plan, Eivor. I had no intention of betraying Giedrich.
It was your plan all along? Yet you saw fit to keep me guessing through your fits of madness.
You are not always to be trusted. Your passions overcome you. I know that. My father knew that. Your father knew it. You move with the wrath of Odin, but you do not have his wisdom. That will lead you astray, Eivor. Come, friend. We have a battle to prepare for.
This quarrel with your brother is something to behold. Has it always been so heated?
All my life we moved as one. As family. As kin. I have always known his mind, and he mine. Until this day.
Time makes idiots of us all.
You fought well today, Fulke. Would you fight beside me now?
To wrest control of the Shire from Edwin? I will.
Giedrich asked me to cripple her line of support. Would you know where she gets her rations and supplies?
East of Oxenforda, south of the Lichvila. There's a place called Eaton Barn where eager merchants sell to soldiers.
Meet me there. I'll come soon. Sigurd, brother, you are lost in a sea storm of your own making. Edwin's defenses have been weakened, but I could do more before joining Fulke.
Reach her castle.
I'd give him over to any man for enough silver. I've a live...
It's for the good of your Shire.
You've lost your senses.
What's the noise about?
She's trying to rob me. I warn you, soldiers are coming to escort me any minute.
This merchant is taking supplies to the castle. Oil for boiling, arrows, shields, rations. I offered to buy them, but he refuses.
I don't sell on a future promise of profit. Edwin's a valuable customer.
Then I'll make you a new author. Here's more than enough coin, friend.
By Jesus, you're a better customer than your needling partner.
We can use these oil jars to surprise the soldiers.
I see visions of burning men, the screams of soldiers aflame. If we place the oil and supplies near the hay along the road, it will burn like hellfire when the soldiers arrive.
Take position on that bluff and watch for the soldiers, would you?
You'll hear me howl as the men approach.
Name is something really hot. At my school and that then I become.
What was that?
Men approach. Prepare yourself! The soldiers are close. That overhanging branch is a good vantage for a first strike. trap now.
Time has come for
I'm
you.
with you! Attack! Burn! Prophets of deception! May the fire of the Archoness consume you! Soldiers of Sackless! May you die in ignorance!
That's the last of them. Edwin will be waiting for aid that never comes. Something wrong?
No. No, quite the opposite. At Sancte Albanus, your brother claimed kinship with the gods. Is it true? Is he descended from the Archon's children, the Isu?
Not to be blunt, Fulke, but only half of what you say ever makes any sense to me.
Forgive me. I often presume too much of my audience. Men who fear damnation, when ignorance is the greatest of all evils.
Ignorance of what?
What a perfect sentence. I'll ask more simply. Could your brother be descended of the gods? Or could he be a god himself?
How is that possible? You don't believe such a thing yourself, do you?
Not elusive self-begotten light who reigns over all, but a lesser god. Imperfect and given to temptation.
Sigurd is only a man, the son of a king and my brother. He may think highly of himself, but he's no god.
Yet it's possible his line of kings was fathered by a god, in ages past.
We haven't time for these fantasies, Fulke. It's time I regroup with Giedrich to see how his assault preparations are coming along.
Godspeed, Eivor. I will stay here to pray for the souls of the dead before I join you.
Castle Keep looks impregnable. That will be Edwin's last stand.
Too slow!
We keep our wits about us.
These cauldrons. It's new leather!
We have the advantage.
There's more to be done, but this should be enough to launch the assault. Now it's down to Giedrich to lead his men.
I say we wait. There's too much riding on this.
Sigurd, Lord of East Mercia, and I say we fight! Now!
You're a good man, Sigurd, and I'm thankful for it.
Is it done?
It is.
And have you laid your poles of hazel and composed your poems for this coming victory?
I'm here to speak with Giedrich.
Go on, then. You master of aids.
Still dreaming of your precious stone?
It is not dreams that led me here, Eivor. I've had visions, prophecies from the gods.
Visions.
I'll sacrifice to Tyr this day, the Lord of Justice, the harbinger of flawless victory.
Sigurd, what prophecies?
Are we ready to assault the castle, Eivor? The sign's importance, read well.
Hold there! To hell with you! I'll stage your welcome.
Dear God, we're in trouble! Watch out over there, men! Oh, Christ in holy heaven!
Giedrich asked me to help you whenever I could.
These soldiers have got us in a tough spot. We're grateful for any help you can give. Oh, God! I'm an idiot. Snuff you
Mongrel! What is it now? Eivor, are you ready to begin the assault now?
We are ready. Give the command.
Good. And let's be quick about it. My scouts tell me a force of King Alfred's men is on the march. Let's end this before that flap-mouthed pudding has a chance to hit back.
Dane, I will send you to your sad supper in Valhalla.
Lady Egwene!
She has bodyguards!
A reward in silver for each dead slave. We will use your flesh as mulch for our crops.
Flank the idiot. Press you. We're off then. You felled the lofty lady.
Do what you must, Thane of Dungheaps. As one loyal to her shire and her people, I know which of us God favors.
Eivor bested you. It's for Eivor to decide your fate.
You fought with honor and purpose. For that, I put you in Giedrich's care. He will see you're treated well.
I will, so long as you recant your friendship with that pot of warm piss, King Alfred.
Agreed.
Take her away.
I fulfilled my promise to you. I trust you'll do the same. An oath between our people.
Aye, you've done us well, Eivor. I thank you. And if ever you need the like, I'll do what I can.
I will. Count on it.
I'd be quick about plundering. King Alfred will be on his way, and he won't be alone.
Wish I had a girl waiting for me somewhere. Days like this, I miss...
You see? The markings of the Ancient Ones. The Isu. The gods begat of gods.
I've seen this somewhere. I know these words.
One who stands at a threshold should take great care to look around. For who knows what foes lie in wait in the halls beyond.
I have passed through this doorway once before. With Sigurd. In a dream.
Not once. 1,000 times.
1,000?
What does it say, Sigurd? Does it speak to you?
Yes. But the words are... fogged. Shadowed. And yet I feel their meaning. And the ash tree... I see the great tree of life. Her boughs reaching... skyward. Opening the way. It's just as you promised, Basim. All you foretold was true. Eivor, I am more than I appear to be. So much more.
This is wicked magic, Sigurd. Darksader, do not listen.
No, this is real. This is everything.
To the walls! To the walls! Alfred's come! King Alfred of Wessex! Marching up the rise with a mess of soldiers!
Have we time to escape?
The men are spent. We've not a chance in blazing hell.
A parley, then. We must call a parley. I will speak, and the King of Wessex will listen. As I understand, King Alfred, your name is not spoken with affection here in Mercia.
Yet I am close enough to Wessex to hear myself praised from morn till twilight.
Return to your singing subjects, then, and leave the affairs of Mercia to the Danes.
Not till your pagan war songs are safely out of hearing.
Offer an exchange, Lord. You can...
Please, no secrets here.
Let's end this here, my lord. Let's exchange men. My best warrior for yours to prove peace. After which you leave Mercia, and we fall back north of River Ouse.
These terms are fair. Wulfrich! My war thane. You will go with Giedrich, brother. Name your man.
Sigurd Jarl, I offer myself.
Thank you, Basim.
King Alfred. Wait.
Paladin Fulke, you with this company?
I was, my lord. To recover from Edwin what was mine by right. Sigurd is the only man you need. He's worth more than 20 other men. He is the son of a king.
Traitorous snake!
And his heresies are profound, my lord. He claims to be a living god.
I'll got you, troll woman!
Hush! I'll gift myself to you, King Alfred. Because it is not my fate to die by your hand.
Brother.
Have faith, for the Lord God watches over you all.
This man is dangerous, my lord. Let me hold him.
Do what you must, but treat him with care.
By all the gods, Basim. What was that?
I will shatter them. They shall